December 3rd, 2025, 05:42 a.m., Oranjestad Harbor, Aruba, Dutch Caribbean island, population 107,000, tourism economy, oil refinery, strategic location, 19 miles from Venezuelan coast, too close to enemy, too far from friends. Nearest Dutch military forces on Curaçao, 42 miles west. Netherlands maintains minimal Caribbean presence, 4 F-16AM fighters, 1 Navy frigate, 2 Coast Guard cutters, token force, symbolic commitment, insufficient for real defense. Aruba knows this. Venezuela knows this. Everyone knows this. That's why at 05:43 a.m., when 6 Venezuelan Navy patrol boats enter harbor, nobody stops them. Can't stop them. Don't have forces to stop them. Venezuelan vessels carry 240 Marines, heavily armed, well-trained, landing craft follow 8 LCM-1E, each carrying 30 soldiers, additional 240 troops, total 480 Venezuelan military personnel invading Dutch sovereign territory. This is active war. This is NATO Article 5 trigger. This is international crisis, but also fait accompli. Because by time international community responds, Venezuelans will control island, will establish facts on ground, will claim territory, historically Venezuelan, will dare world to dislodge them. Welcome to Navy force, where territorial disputes become military occupations and 340 miles determine if carrier strike group arrives before political window closes and occupation becomes permanent. Venezuelan Marines land unopposed. Aruba has no military. 25 police officers, pistols, shotguns, light weapons, totally inadequate, and they don't resist. Can't resist, hide, call for help, wait, hope. Netherlands receives notification 06:17 a.m., Amsterdam time 00:17 a.m. local, middle of night. Foreign minister awakened, briefed, shocked, angry, helpless. Dutch military can respond, but takes time. F-16s from Curaçao can reach Aruba in 11 minutes. But then what? Strafe Venezuelan forces? Bomb Dutch infrastructure? Risk civilian casualties? Create humanitarian disaster? No good options. Frigate HNLMS De Ruyter can reach Aruba in 3 hours. 1 ship versus Venezuelan garrison. Math doesn't work. Need allies, need America, need NATO. Phone calls begin. Diplomatic crisis starts. Clock ticking. Every hour Venezuelan occupation continues makes reversal harder, makes acceptance more likely, makes permanent possession more probable. At 06:34 a.m., Venezuelan forces secure key facilities: Reina Beatrix International Airport, Queen Beatrix Airport, whatever translation preferred, main airport, runway 99,022 feet, can handle large aircraft, C-130 transports, commercial jets, critical infrastructure. Venezuelans deploy anti-aircraft missiles, SA-18 Igla, man-portable, effective against helicopters and low-flying aircraft, creates no-fly zone, prevents Dutch F-16s from attacking. Smart move, professional operation. This was planned carefully, executed precisely, not impulsive action, calculated aggression. Strategic gamble. Venezuela betting international community won't respond militarily. Betting NATO won't invoke Article 5 for Caribbean island. Betting economic sanctions are acceptable price for territorial gain. Bold bet, maybe correct bet, time will tell. Question for viewers: NATO member invaded. What should response be? A. Immediate military action. B. Diplomatic negotiations. C. Economic sanctions. Comment your strategic assessment. Navy force believes aggression unpunished becomes aggression repeated, and today tests whether collective defense has meaning or is empty promise. Second target, Valero Oil Refinery, 235,000 barrels per day capacity, one of largest in Caribbean. Processes Venezuelan crude oil, ironic. Venezuelan oil refined on territory Venezuela claims. Now Venezuela controls refinery, controls oil, controls revenue, economic benefit immediate, strategic value enormous. Refinery employs 1,100 workers, many Venezuelan expatriates. Some welcome Venezuelan forces, some fear them, most confused, uncertain, worried. Venezuelan commander broadcasts message. Spanish and Dutch. People of Aruba. Venezuelan armed forces have arrived to liberate territory historically belonging to Venezuela. We mean no harm to civilians. Cooperate and you will be safe. Resist and face consequences. This is Venezuelan land. This is coming home. Welcome liberation. Propaganda. Justification. Attempting to legitimize invasion through historical claims. Claims are questionable. Border treaties from 1800s clearly defined. But possession is 9/10 of law. Venezuela possesses now. That's reality. That's problem. That's crisis. On Navy force, we understand territorial seizures create facts difficult to reverse. Military operations are easy compared to political settlements. Occupying takes hours, dislodging takes weeks, sometimes months, sometimes never. Subscribe to Navy Force if you believe first 72 hours determine if invasions succeed, and watching that clock creates pressure politicians can't handle. United States monitors situation. USS Dwight D. Eisenhower carrier strike group position 340 nautical miles northeast. Off Puerto Rico, training operations immediately redirected, turn south, flank speed 30 knots. ETA Aruba 11 hours 20 minutes too slow, too late. Occupation already established by then. Launch aircraft. FA-18 Super Hornets have 450-mile combat radius, can reach Aruba, can strike Venezuelan forces, but that starts shooting war. That requires presidential authorization. That demands diplomatic coordination with Netherlands. That takes time, hours, maybe days. Meanwhile, Venezuelans consolidate, dig in, prepare defenses. Every hour strengthens position. Every delay favors occupiers. Netherlands requests NATO consultation. Article 4, not Article 5. Article 4 is consultation when member feels threatened. Article 5 is collective defense when member attacked. Netherlands hesitates. Invoking Article 5 means war, means NATO forces attack Venezuela, means Venezuelan oil production targeted, means regional conflict, means escalation. Netherlands wants Aruba back, doesn't want war, wants diplomatic solution, wants face-saving compromise, wants impossible outcome, can't have territory returned and avoid conflict. Venezuela knows this, counts on this. That's why invasion proceeded. That's why timing was perfect. Christmas approaching, holiday season, political will for war minimal, public attention elsewhere. Perfect storm for aggression. Venezuela exploited it brilliantly. At 14:23 p.m., Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro addresses nation, televised speech. Today, Venezuelan armed forces have reclaimed territory stolen by colonial powers. Aruba has always been Venezuelan. Spanish maps from 1499 show this. Dutch colonizers illegally occupied our land. Today we correct historical injustice. We invite international community to recognize Venezuelan sovereignty over Aruba. We are prepared to negotiate but not to surrender. Aruba is Venezuela. This is final. Bold declaration, uncompromising position, negotiation on terms only, not on principle. Venezuela stakes maximum claim, expects to compromise downward. Classic negotiation tactic, but only works if other side negotiates. If other side simply demands withdrawal, negotiations fail. Then what? Force, sanctions, acceptance, no clear path forward. Dutch F-16s conduct reconnaissance flights. Outside SAM range, 6 miles from coast, photograph Venezuelan positions. Count equipment. Assess defenses. Don't attack. Can't attack without political authorization. Pilots frustrated. See enemy forces. Can engage, can destroy. Orders say observe only. That's discipline. That's professionalism. That's military subordination to civilian control. Even when civilians don't know what they want. Even when delay helps enemy. Even when frustration is palpable. First 24 hours pass, Venezuelan forces fully deployed, defensive positions established, anti-aircraft coverage complete, harbor mined, beach obstacles erected, infantry dug in. This isn't temporary occupation. This is permanent garrison. Venezuela preparing for long stay, bringing in supplies, construction equipment, prefabricated buildings, planning infrastructure, planning administration, planning annexation. That's concerning, that's escalatory, that's point of no return approaching rapidly. If Venezuela establishes functioning government, Aruba becomes province not occupied territory. Reversal becomes impossible without full-scale war. Clock ticking, pressure mounting, decisions required. At 32 hours, USS Eisenhower reaches position 45 miles north of Aruba. Carrier air wing ready. 24 FA-18 Super Hornets, 5 EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft, 4 E-2D Hawkeye early warning aircraft, complete strike package. Can destroy Venezuelan forces in 6 hours, can retake island in 12, can restore Dutch sovereignty by nightfall, just needs authorization, needs political decision, needs courage. Netherlands still hesitating, still negotiating, still hoping for peaceful solution. United States supporting ally but not leading. This is Dutch territory, Dutch decision, Dutch responsibility. America provides capability. Netherlands must provide will. Disconnect between military possibility and political reality growing soon becomes unbridgeable. Venezuelan reinforcements arrive. 48 hours into occupation, 2 transport aircraft, Antonov An-26, Russian design, carrying additional troops, heavy weapons, supplies, airport operational, functional, supporting logistics. This is consolidation. This is permanence. This is Venezuela. Betting NATO won't act. Betting correctly so far. 48 hours, no military response, no ultimatum, no consequences, just condemnation, just sanctions threats, just diplomatic protests. Venezuela accepts all that, considers it victory, considers occupation successful, considers Aruba Venezuelan, international community proving them right through inaction. On Navy force, we understand aggression succeeds when responses are slow, when decisions are delayed, when courage is absent. Subscribe to Navy Force if you believe strength prevents wars and weakness invites them, and today's weakness may cost tomorrow's sovereignty. Economic damage mounting, tourism stops immediately, cruise ships cancel port calls, flights suspended, hotels empty, businesses close, unemployment spikes, economy crashes. Estimated losses $47 million first week, $180 million first month. Devastating for small island. Venezuela offers compensation, offers jobs, offers integration into Venezuelan economy. Some Arubans tempted, most resistant. But practical considerations matter. People need income, need stability, need normalcy. If Netherlands can't restore sovereignty quickly, some will accept Venezuelan rule. Pragmatism defeats patriotism eventually. That's human nature. That's reality. That's time working against liberation. At 68 hours international pressure peaks, United Nations Security Council emergency session, Venezuela vetoed? No. Russia and China prevent resolution, veto Western response. Support Venezuelan position, call occupation, correction of colonial injustice. Provide diplomatic cover, enable territorial theft. That's great power competition, that's multipolarity. That's New World Order, where aggression is legitimized through competing narratives, and force deters nothing if powerful friends protect aggressors. Netherlands faces choice: accept occupation, launch military operation without UN backing, negotiate compromise, all options terrible, all options costly, all options precedent-setting. At 72 hours breakthrough, back-channel negotiations succeed, deal emerges. Venezuela withdraws forces. Netherlands agrees to bilateral commission studying Aruba's status. Commission reports in 3 years. During that time, no military presence by either side. Aruba demilitarized zone, neutral territory, face saving for Venezuela, sovereignty preserved for Netherlands, temporary solution. postponing inevitable conflict, but buying time, maybe finding permanent answer, maybe not. Regardless, Venezuelan forces begin withdrawal 72 hours after invasion began. Mission accomplished from their perspective. International humiliation from Dutch perspective. Strategic ambiguity from American perspective. What did Navy force learn from this crisis? First, territorial aggression succeeds when defenders hesitate. Venezuela invaded. Netherlands dithered. Occupation consolidated. Fact accomplished. Second, alliances have limits. NATO didn't invoke Article 5, didn't defend member, questioned future value, questioned commitment, raised doubts. Third, carrier presence deters nothing if unused. Eisenhower, 45 miles away. Overwhelming force available, never employed. Potential means nothing. Action means everything. Fourth, economic damage, severe even from short occupation. $67 million losses in 72 hours. Refinery production stopped, tourism destroyed, recovery takes months. Fifth, diplomatic settlements favor aggressors. Venezuela got bilateral commission, got legitimacy for claims, got concessions, got success. Netherlands got sovereignty questions, got humiliation, got lesson. Final lesson. Sovereignty requires will to defend. Military capability insufficient without political courage. Netherlands had allies, had support, had options, lacked decisiveness, lacked resolve, lacked willingness to fight. Venezuela counted on that, exploited it, won, not militarily, politically, strategically, but that's modern warfare. Don't need to win battles, need to win narratives, need to win negotiations, need to win acceptance. Venezuela achieved all three. That's concerning. That's precedent, that's future. Quiz answer from earlier. NATO member invaded, what should response be? Answer depends on perspective. Militarily, A is correct. Immediate action prevents consolidation. Politically, C is chosen. Economic sanctions minimize escalation. Strategically, B happened. Diplomatic negotiations favor aggressor. No clear right answer, only consequences. Today's consequences are Venezuelan success, Dutch humiliation, NATO questioned, allies wondering if collective defense has meaning or is empty promise. Answers come next time someone tests it. Will Article 5 matter, or is it suggestion, not commitment? Venezuela just asked that question. Answer was ambiguous. That's dangerous. That's destabilizing. That's invitation for further aggression. Here's truth mainstream media won't explain. Venezuela won, occupied NATO territory 72 hours, withdrew on favorable terms, no casualties, no costs, no consequences, just benefits, got international attention, got bilateral commission, got legitimacy for historical claims, that's victory, Netherlands lost, couldn't defend territory, couldn't restore sovereignty quickly, couldn't demonstrate resolve, that's defeat. America watched, provided capability, not commitment. That's concerning for all allies, everywhere. If Netherlands can't count on NATO, maybe Estonia can't either, maybe Latvia can't, maybe Lithuania can't, maybe anyone can't. That's strategic erosion, that's alliance degradation, that's crisis of confidence. All from 72-hour occupation of small island most Americans never heard of. That's how empires decline, not through dramatic defeats, through small surrenders accumulating until no one remembers what was once defended. Subscribe to Navy Force if you believe today's surrender encourages tomorrow's aggression. Like this video if you question why carrier 45 miles away never acted. Comment below. Should Netherlands have fought? Should U.S. have intervened unilaterally? What would you do as Eisenhower captain watching occupation happen? Your perspective matters. Your engagement builds awareness. Your comments demand accountability from leaders who choose convenience over courage and appeasement over defense, and tomorrow over today. Next crisis already brewing. Next aggressor already planning. Next territory already targeted because Venezuela succeeded, because NATO wavered, because America watched. Lesson learned by adversaries. Lesson ignored by allies. Pattern emerging. Strength questioned. Resolve doubted. Sovereignty negotiable. That's dangerous world. That's unstable order. That's future we're creating through present inaction. Navy force keeps watching, keeps reporting, keeps demanding you understand stakes, because your ignorance enables their aggression, your attention prevents their expansion, your voice demands your protection. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay angry, because 72 hours shouldn't be enough to steal sovereignty, shouldn't be enough to humiliate allies, shouldn't be enough to question alliances, but was. That's problem, that's crisis, that's why we exist.